Good evening, Madam Loveland. How are you doing today? I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, let me know you can hear me loud and clear in the comment section while we wait for others to join us in the next 7 minutes. Uh, excuse me. All right. So henceforth, most of our free sections will be taking place now on Zoom, while the paid section will be paid. The free section will be taking place here on YouTube Live, while the free sections are the ones that will now be the paid section are the ones that will be happening on Zoom. Okay, so today's section. So who else do we have here? Land Mayor. Okay. All right. So in the next, we'll be keeping to time here. In the next 5 minutes, which will be 7:30 on the dot, we'll be starting the section. So today's section, what we are looking at is growth levers, growth levers or growth accelerator for any business to achieve certain results, because it's easier to work on growth levers than to set goals. The truth is, most of the time we all set goals, but it is easier to achieve those goals if you work with growth, if you know your growth levers and you work with them. So based on and I'm going to be expressing my points beyond real estate today. There are many growth levers depending on the kind of business you are into, but I will be focusing my attention on about 4 to 5 of them, which are common in every business. So is when people say I achieve 1 million sales last year, 500 million sales last year, 1 billion naira sales last year. The question is, and you want to improve on these points, what are the things you need to work on? That is the major point here. If your business is to scale, what are the things you need to work on that will make that business scale? And for everything you want to scale, what effect does it have on the other aspect of the business? And I'll be giving you some real business examples, some businesses you and I know that have died or are beginning to struggle because they started scaling. Scaling can either help a business to do well or kill that business. When people say, I want to scale, there is danger of scaling. When people say, I want to expand, there is danger to expansion. So these are some of the things we'll be looking at today. So the dangers for expansion, what are they? What are the dangers for expansion? What are the dangers for expansions? So these are some of the things we'll be looking at. So let's wait for the time. I will also be sharing my screen. There's my slide. Okay, so without wasting more time, so I will begin the section. I already said it before. This year, a lot will be changing in my free sections. No time to wait for anyone. With time, we might even filter a lot of people from those groups. So if you can hear me, please use your favorite emoji sign to say you can hear me. Okay, I have, okay, Chisom, good evening, coach, good evening. Chisom, how are you? How is Abuja today? I hope you are eating the government money. Please always remember to pass some across. All right, if you can hear me, because I'm about starting, can you see my screen and can you hear me? If you can hear me, please use your emoji sign to say you can hear me, all right? All right. Okay, so let's proceed without wasting time. It doesn't matter whether it's just two persons that are in the sections. I will just take up the class so as to manage time. All right. All right, so I can see you. Land president is here. I can hear you. All right. So now we have on the screen the 16x exponential growth framework. But that is, I will be taking it from a different perspective. So who would I use as a case study here? Let me see the group. Those that are in this. Okay. Madam Loveline, are you still there? May, since you joined the meeting first, so let me use you as a case study. Let me use you as a case study. Are you there, Madam Loveline? If you can, if you are there, please use an emoji sign. This is no more these sections where you can talk back with audio, so you have to type now. Madam Loveland, is she there? Madam Loveland, can you hear me? Yes, okay, I am on. All right. So quickly, let me even start. This is to everybody. In as much I'm going to be using Madam Loveland as a case study, uh, this is going to be to everybody. Quickly, in the comment section, what is your sales target? Let me use sales target. Sales target, okay, let me say, mention three, everybody, but I'm just going to pick one person as a case study. Mention three areas you want to improve on your business this year. Three areas you want to improve on pertaining to your business this year, either in terms of sales, either in terms of profits, either in terms of for those of you that are already developers here, either in terms of number of plots, right? In number of estates, I mean, maybe expansion into multiple cities, recruiting more realtors. So just three things that you want to improve on. Your goal this year is that I want at the end of this year, these are the things I want to see, and I will say, yes, this year has been successful. What are those things you want to see this year in your business for you to say, yes, this year was successful for me? If you can hear me, please go to the comment section. Everybody, type those three things you want to improve on your business this year. Let's do that fast, please. Three things you want to improve on your business this year. Three things you want to improve on your business this year. Three things you want to improve on your business this year. So let's go on. I'm waiting. Sorry, I'm pressing my phone. I'm actually trying to use my phone to also stream to a different platform. So I'm waiting. Can they even hear me? Three things, just three things you want to improve on your business this year. Three things you want to improve on your business this year. I can hear you. All right. Now, three things you want to improve on your business this year. That is all I need from you right now. Everybody, three things you want to improve on your business this year. Okay, we have a land president says she wants to improve our marketing. Okay, let's see. Three things. Content creation. Okay, that's the land presidency. It's marketing, content creation, and branding. Okay. All right. That is from only one person. So while we're waiting for others to type theirs, let me ask a question to you. How will you measure your success? Because one thing is measuring the success. Three areas, my lovely say, three areas to improve on my business this year, expand my team by 50%. I like that. Two, increase my revenue by 500%. I like that. Increase my marketing channels and budgets. Okay, you didn't specify by what percentage. Okay, so now while we are still waiting for others to type, please, for those of you, maybe you are joining us for the first time, sorry, I didn't introduce myself. In case you are joining us for the first time, my name is Christopher Moses. By God's grace, I'm the digital strategist of Imaginative Tech Hub, or the business growth consultant of the Realtors Marketing Academy, or the Techboss brand. All right, so now let's proceed. Like I said earlier, I would use Madam Loveland as a case study. Now, let's say I'm going to just create a scenario, then I will come to your responses on the comment section. Let's say this. Let's say a business made 800 million naira in sales last year. 800 million naira in sales. And let's say this business is a real estate business, since most of the persons I'm seeing here. And in case you are not in the real estate space, please also indicate in the comment section and tell us the type of business you are into. I will give examples to cover your industries as well. Okay. So now back to the point. Let's say a real estate business made a sale of 800 million naira last year. And this, they were able to track certain parameters. And those parameters they were able to track are as follows. Is a real estate business. Now, this real estate business, seven, uh, this real estate business, 80% of this 800 million came from realtors. I repeat, 8%, 80% of these 800 million naira sales they made last year came from realtors. What is, I need someone to join me in these calculations, because it is with data. You cannot scale that data. You cannot sustain or repeat your result if you don't have the data of what you did that gave you last year or previous results. So the only way to scale any business is to know what you did the previous year. Okay, so that is why you will hear some persons will say, or you must have also heard me say that, don't only celebrate what works, rather also only celebrate what duplicates. Only things that are repeatable are the things that you should celebrate. You must have heard a statement like that before. And that is the reason for this, is that I'm going to go back to show you. I know some of you have been in my sections. You must have seen me use this before, talking about the definition of what a business is. Okay? So this definition you are seeing on the screen of what a business is, this definition, right, is a major point. The first thing I want you to take note of from this definition, that a business is a repeatable process. So everything you are doing in your business, if they are not repeatable, you are carrying out maybe miracle, because miracles does not repeat itself. In the Bible, Jesus Christ healed different sick people, but not the same method. Okay, but businesses are meant to be repeatable process. So that is what you should take note of. Now, the sales you made last year, can you repeat it this year? What exactly did you do differently that gave you the sales of last year, right? That is just what I want you to take note of. Now I move back to the points we are trying to make for today's class. Okay, business is a repeatable process. That is just what I want you to take note of. While I went to the slide for you to see, business is a repeatable process. Okay, now, since business is a repeatable process, now what are the parameters of the things you are putting into consideration that you believe can be repeated? Now, I was giving you a case study or a scenario. So I'm going to get a sheet of paper. From the top of my head, I'm going to just create a scenario for you. A business made 800 million naira in sales. I want to show you how that business can move from just 800 million in sales the previous year to making 16 times that sales this year. That is what I want to show you. Now, but the question is, will the business have the capacity? Because one thing is for me to give you the parameters. Another thing is for the business to have that capacity to actually to be able to replicate what I want to show you right now. All right. If you're ready, let us go. So 800 million times 16. That is what I am trying to show you. So 800 million times 16, what would that be? Please put it on the comment section. 800 million times 16. I'm seeing all of your comments. Please keep them coming. I'm going to attend to them as we proceed. So 800 million times 16, somebody puts it on the comment section. Now, what are the parameters? I said earlier that this 800 million, 80% of it came from realtors, right? 80% of it came from realtor. So realtors is one of the parameters for achieving sales in the business. That's what it means. So realtors is one of the parameters for achieving sales because 80% of that sales came from realtors. I expect, in fact, I will advise everybody to get a sheet of paper and write along with me. All right. So we are trying to do a live and a practical section right now. 800% or 80% of 800 million came from realtors. So in front of realtors now is one of the, I'm talking from a company perspective now. So realtors is one of the parameters for growth. In front of realtors, put times 2. Then I move to the next thing that gave them the sales. The next thing they gave them the sales is in-house team. 20% of the sales came from their in-house team, which means they have an internal marketing team, right? In-house team, right? In-house. So I'll just put in-house, 20% of that sales. So I put times 2 again. So in-house team is another parameters for achieving sales. Okay? So now let's even look at this first. I was asking for 80%. What is 80% of 800 million? Nobody has done that calculation. Who is there to give me that calculation? 800 80% of 800 million. I need somebody on the comment section. Give me that quickly, please. You can press, if you have another phone, just do that calculation and give me that because that should be around 600 and something, if I'm not mistaken. So I want us to use the exact figures. So if it's, if it's, and the next question you need to ask myself now, how many of these, out of the, how many realtors does this company have that gave them 80% of these sales? They only have 120 realtors, right? But out of the 120 realtors, only about 70 of them that made sales that year. 70 of them made sales that year. Okay? So take note of that. 70 made sales that year. So, but they have 120 realtors. Now, the products they have, how many plots did they sell to give me that number? Are they following? I request for something. Can you still hear me? I made a request. I've not gotten it. Please, I need it in the comment section. Or is it me that is not seeing your comments anymore? I need my request. Make it available in the comment section if you guys can still hear me. All right. So back to the point. So now, in this company, the average property price they have, when I say average, they have property of 2.5 million. They have properties of 10.5, about 15.5 million also. So they have varieties of properties, right? So, but the average among the properties they have is 4 million naira. That's the average property they have. Average property price, 4 million naira. I'm going somewhere. 4 million naira. And the total number of plots they sold in general, the total number of plots they sold that year, right? Say it's about, total number of plots they sold is about, let's say 100 plots. Remember, I'm just creating these figures off my head. 100 plots is what they sold. 100 plots. So the number of plots is also a growth lever. The price is also a growth lever. Now I want this company has given me these parameters. So if I want this company to do more than what they did the previous year, I need to look for an average of 4 parameters. And each of those 4 parameters, I will multiply it by 2. So 2 times 2, realtors, I say times 2, 2 times 2, that is 4. Times 2, that is 4. Then another times 2 again, 4 until I will get 16. So price, I want to, the average price they have is 4 million. So I want to increase price by 2 also. So I have 3 parameters already. I'm looking for one more parameter, one more parameter, one more parameter. Which other parameter do I have? Which other parameter can I get from the story that I've given you now? Which other parameter? Which other parameter? Realtors, in-house, price. Then, okay, let me increase number of plots or number of estates. So I increase number of estates by 2 also. So that is times 2. So 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 2, that's 16. So what this company needs to do as a brand is to see, how do we increase our realtors base by 2, by 50%? That is 50%. So we have, so one of the things the realtors need to, that company need to focus on is to engage on intensive recruitment exercise. That is number one thing they need to do. Engage in intensive recruitment exercise. That is one of the things they need to do. But the details, time will not permit me to share of the type of examples of exercises of recruitment they need to engage on. But what I can tell you for free is that they need to engage on an exercise to recruit more realtors. So if they had 120 realtors and 70 of them made sales and they got 80% of it, if they multiply the realtors by 2, 140 or 120 times 2 would give you approximately 240. Increase the realtors by 2, so that will give you 240. Now the in-house team, do they need to increase the in-house team, or what do they need to do? They have different options. Employ staff members, marketing staff members with a better capacity. Employ staff members with better capacity. This is where something will come. Employ staff members with better capacity to be able to pull in. There are some people that cannot close certain deals. So you need to either evaluate the existing staff members. What is their problem? Is it a problem of capacity? Is it a problem of knowledge? Is it a problem of resources? Okay, these are the possible problems: capacity, resources, right? So now if we talk about capacity or knowledge per se, what is the network of these staff members? That is one. When we talk about resources, what are you giving to these marketers or salespeople? The principle of business is that when you employ salespeople, their work is not to look for lead. It is the responsibility of the company to supply them leads. So what you need to now do is, this company, we have 20 marketers in, or let's say 5 marketers in-house. They didn't close much sales. The question is, how many leads did you supply them? That is one. And what is the quality of leads you supply them with? So if you answer these questions correctly, you'll be able to know whether you need, if you supply them quality leads and they did not deliver well, then you know, try to know, is it a knowledge problem? So you decide whether to train or to replace. Are we together? If you are following, please go to the comment section and type something. Say, I am following. If you are following, go to the comment section and say you are following. Let's do that fast, because I even asked for a certain calculation. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I asked for a calculation and nobody even typed that on the comment section. Can you guys hear me? Okay, Ebube Shuku. Yes, hello, Mr. Chris. I am following. Okay, we can hear you. Just joining. Okay, welcome, welcome. All right, so now back to what I was saying. So we talked about, I was talking about increasing the capacity of the in of your results, right? Yes, just joining now. All right. So you want to get more results. In-house team. I'm also going to do this breakdown using Realtor as a case study. For those of you who are just joining, okay, for those of you who are just joining, okay, what we are doing currently, I'm giving a case study. How do a company that made 600 million in sales last year, how can they get 16 times that result? And I requested on the group, 800 times 16, what is the number? Is it that some of us, we don't know mathematics today? 800 times 16, what is the value? A company that made 800 million naira in sales last year. Number one, do you believe that they can achieve 16 times that result? If you say yes, or whether you say no, and I'm saying it is possible, and I'm giving the blueprint, right? I will also give you that of realtors. What I said was that to multiply your result, okay, to multiply your result, okay, to multiply your result, all you need to do, right, is to look for four things that can be multiplied by two. Four things that can be multiplied by two. And I remember I also said, for those of you, I'm just recapping, I'm seeing all your comments, right? I'm just doing a recap to be able to carry everybody along. Now, I also said that business is a repeatable process. So every result you are achieving, try as much as possible. Every result you are getting, try as much as possible to multiply that result or keep record so that you know, okay, this is what I did last year. Let me repeat this thing this year. If I repeat it this year and it works, then it's a repeatable process. And I say that business is all about repeatability, is a repeatable process. Okay, yesterday, was it yesterday or day before yesterday? I was in the hospital, I was hospitalized. Day before yesterday, I was in the hospital. And I needed food. I left the hospital because they didn't have food where I could get a good food around there. So left the hospital. Somebody drove me. We went to a restaurant to eat. It happens to be my favorite restaurant. On getting there, the food tasted so bad. They were lucky I bought the food and took it back to the hospital. Because if I ate that food there, they already know me. Anytime they cook well, I will praise them. And every time they don't cook well, I'll call the manager or call the owner of the place and ask him, did you change your shelf? I've had conversation with the manager in different or the owner of the place, different occasions, telling him that he needs to have a process in place. So no matter whether a chef leaves or a chef stays, that taste of food should be retained, right? But that is, by the way, let's proceed to what we are saying. So, I'm now, in this case, I'm giving a breakdown of how a business can repeat its process or repeat its sales result. And I said, first and first, I'm using a business that made 800 million last year. And that business now, 800 million times 16. We want to see if that business can repeat it. And 800 million times 16, I'm seeing people typing that is 12.8 billion. That is what I should believe it should be. If I'm not mistaken, that should be around 12.8 billion naira, if I'm not mistaken. So, but let's proceed and see for ourselves. So, what are the four things? I said the only way you can increase that result is by increasing four things. Look out for four things that can be multiplied. First thing first, I gave you the breakdown. And the breakdown is this: 800 million. Out of the 800 million, 80% of that 800 million was made through realtors. It's a real estate company. I'm using real estate as a case study. a real estate company having realtors and in-house team. Realtors alone brought 80% of the 800 million. And I ask you, what is 80% of 800 million? That is a calculation you guys are here to give me. It has to be it has to be both ways. So as I'm saying, you give me the answer. 80% of 800 million, what is the answer? 80% of 800 million. So I'm expecting to get that. Okay, so that is one. Now, and I said that the number of realtors that gave them this result, okay, somebody say that is 800 and 604 640 million. Okay, I don't know, but that's what somebody has typed there. Now, the next thing I'm saying is that what you need to do as a realtor, as a company now, how do I multiply my realtor? 70 realtors gave me this, though I have 120 realtors, but 70 in total was what brought the sales, right? So if I'm to look for average, okay, if I'm to look for average, right, all I need to do is 800 this amount, which is 640 million, 640 million divided by 70. What will you get? 640 million. Okay, let's not go that route for now. I will take you too much into mathematics, but let's just note that they made a sale of 640 million. That was the sales the realtor brought in. Just take note of that. Realtors brought in 640 million naira. Who is putting B there? That B, is that for what the realtors brought in? It's, you guys should be explaining some of the things you are typing so you don't get me confused. But nevertheless, let's proceed. I want to believe realtors brought in 600 and something, which somebody is saying 640 million. I want to believe that is what the realtors brought in. So 640 times 2. I want to duplicate the realtors by 2. So 640 times 2. I need the answer fastly, please. 640 times 2. What would that give you? 640 times 2. So we know if I double my realtors, if I double my realtors, I have two options. Double my realtors, one. Option 2, train and engage my realtors more. Either I train the realtors, engage the realtors, and train them more so that they can make more sales, or or they can make more sales. Or another option that I have is another option that I have is to increase the number of realtors. So you have two options. Option 1, train the realtors so that they have more capacity to be able to bring in more sales. The same realtors. Now, if each of them made maybe three sales, for example, each realtor made 3 sales. How do I get each realtors to make 6 sales next year? Or should I increase the number of realtors? Which one will be easier, faster, and more cost effective? That's what you are looking for. Between recruiting new realtors and getting the existing ones to sell more, which will be easier, faster, and more cost effective? This is how you make business decision. Which of the option is going to be easy for me? So I will have to make that decision. But the most important thing, whichever option I pick, that option should give me at least 1.280 million, 1.280 billion. I'm guessing that's what you guys are typing, because uh 640 million multiplied by 2 should give you the figures some of you are typing currently. Are we together? So now you move to the next point. I am guessing we are clear with the one of realtors. Is the part of realtors clear? If it is clear, put on the comment section that part is clear. Now I move to the next parameter, in-house team. My in-house staff, who are marketers, brought in 20% of that sales. So if realtors 80% is 640, so 800 million minus 640, what would that be? 800 million minus 640, that should be around 160 million. That is what the in-house team brought. In-house team brought 160 million, 160 million. That's what in-house team brought. So this 160 million naira, how do I multiply it? That is also what I need to do. Every parameter multiplied by 2. Okay? Yes, 160 million. That's what the in-house team brought in. 160 million times 2 is what I'm looking at. The next question also, how will I multiply it by 2? Now, I asked, this was where I started the recap, where most of you joined. The recap, which I was doing was, where I stopped before the recap is now, what option do I have? In-house team. I have only 5 of them. Does that mean I should employ more 5 so that they become 10 and they'll be able to double the figure? Or should I employ more experienced marketers? Or is it, what exactly are they lacking? This one I have in-house, what are they lacking that is making them to make only 5 of them? They were only able to make 160 million naira in sales. That is the question I need to ask myself. As a business owner, or as a business analyst, as a manager, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, these are the questions. You don't just wake up and say, I will fire them. They are not productive. That is not where you go to. The first question you should ask yourself is, why are these ones not productive? Because if something else is the reason why they are not productive and you fire them and bring in new ones, the new ones you bring in would also not be productive. For example, in Nigeria, most of the time, we entrepreneur or most entrepreneur, you want one person to do the work of an entire department and you expect quality results. It doesn't work that way. Okay? It can't work that way. Sorry, excuse me. So it can't work. That is not how it works. So how would it work then if that is not how it works? So I will have to make sure I analyze the things that are making them not to be productive. Okay? So normally, marketers, let me say not marketers now. We have marketers, we have salespeople. They are not the same thing. Salespeople are not supposed to be the one going out to look for customers. Take note of it. That is the standard of the marketing and sales industry. Salespeople are not meant to go out to look for customers. You provide them with leads, they convert those leads into customers. That is their work. You create an enabling environment where they have access to leads and they convert them into customers. That is their work. That is the work of salespeople. So either by hosting events, getting them to, you sponsor certain events where your target audience will be found, and they have access to those data of those people and follow up for them to be able to convert them into sales. Or you run ads, awareness, and lead generation campaign. They get this lead, they follow up, they close them into becoming customer. That is what their work is about. Now, if you are already doing this and still they gave you 160 million naira at the end of the year, the question you now need to ask yourself is, where is the problem coming from? Is the problem from the marketing? Advertisement is part of marketing. Okay, so the advert, is it that they are not getting quality leads? If they are not getting quality lead, then you need to change your targeting option. Or is it that the product is the issue? Okay, so after you must have gotten to the root cause of why your in-house team, 5 person, were only able to give you 160 million, then you cannot come back to make a decision. But the point still remains, your target is make sure you multiply the result. 160 million multiplied by 2 will give you how much? 160 multiplied by 2, what will you get? So put the answer on the screen. 160 million multiplied by 2. Let's proceed to the next parameter. I'm done with realtors. I'm done with in-house. Now, what is the next thing? Okay, so the same set of marketers. Let's say if I increase the quality of lead and the quantity of leads that I'm giving them, that alone would increase my results to 320 million. So realtors and in-house team covered. Now, what are the other possible growth parameters in this case study that I've given you? Price is another parameter. You might say, how? Price, qua. Yes, price is another parameter. If these people that are working for you, they sold. Remember, I when I started I said the average price of their products using the case study. Average price per product is 4.5 million naira, right? 4.5 million naira is the average price of their products. So instead of using 4.5 million naira as the average price, I locate an estate in a better place or develop the estate with more amenities so that I can charge higher. So if they all, or the total number of plot they all sold, both the realtors and the customers sold, if the total number of plot they sold was 100, right? And the price was 4.5 million naira, and this time around, I bring in some development or maybe process, maybe as at then when I was selling 4.5, maybe my land does not have CFO. I was able to process the CFO this year. And because I have processed a CFO, I increased my price. So now the average price of the properties I have is now about, let's say, 6.5 million naira. If they sell the same number of products at the rate of 6.5 million naira, my price will still, my revenue will still increase. So I'm looking for this time, remember, it starts to be times 2. Okay, so since it's going to be times 2, so I'm going to multiply price multiplied by 2. So if you are a realtor, maybe you used to sell all these cheap product, because the truth, it almost take the same effort it will take for you to sell a 2 million naira product. Sometimes that is the same effort it will take you to sell a let's say a 5 million naira product. It is the same effort. The only difference is that the type of people, that is all. The effort remain the same. The quality of the people you are targeting, that is what is going to make the difference, and your type of message. So take note of that. So now I go back again. So I increase the price of the products that I'm focusing on selling. What are the price of the product I am selling this time? Instead of selling cheap products, product without CFO, product that gives me issue, product that makes my existing customers not to come back, I focus on product that only have a good title, CFO and so on, governor's consent and government allocation and so on. Maybe those are the kind of product I will focus on. Or maybe I want to focus on selling houses, right? So when I do this, so I'm looking for a way whereby the average price of product I want to focus on this year is going to be 8 million naira. If I sold 100 units last year, I still repeat the same 100 units, but the only difference is that the prices is double. I will make far more than what I made the previous year. So multiply price by 2. So you also multiply price by 2. Either for a real estate company, is either you add more value to the estate or you bring a product in a better location that you can price higher and so on and so forth. The thing is add value so that your prices can increase. Like these, a perfect example, one of the companies we worked with last year, they had I think one of the highest property as at that time was 5 million naira in their previous year before last year. Then last year they brought in a property and the property was 30 something million naira. And you see, oh wow, we just sold only 5 plots and we are almost equaling some of the property, the money we made in an entire quarter in the previous year. Why? They increase the focused on getting property in a better location, and it also took the same effort. Fewer realtors sold, yes, but the point is that the money that was made was more than the money that 20 realtors made previous year. So which would you rather go for? So these are the questions you need to ask yourself. So the fourth parameter now. So how many parameters do I have now? Let me even know those that are following. How many parameters have we done? Let me know those that are following. How many parameters have we done? Remember, I say is everything you are doing, just focus on 4 parameters. I've mentioned some, but I want to know those that are following. How many parameters have we worked on? Put it on the comment section. If you know the number of parameters we've worked on, put it on the comment section. I'm waiting. Comment section, comment section, comment section. All right, we have somebody say 3 parameters. Any other person? Any other person? Any other person? Any other person? How many parameters have we worked on? How many other parameters have we worked on? Because the truth is, like while you are typing, I'm still waiting. While you are typing, the point is this. I can say this year, let me say last year, I just made only 250 million sales last year. Now, this year, I would like to make up to 500 million or even 1 billion naira in sales. When you mention it just by the figures, right, it look ambiguous. And this is the reason why most of you don't achieve your goal. It look ambiguous. But if you break them down into its granular formats, right, into simple units, the work become easy for you. The reason why most of you are struggling is because you are struggling to know what to focus your efforts on. You are just dabbing, jumping from one place to the other. Okay? So this is just a simple arithmetics, right? Yes, the number we have done, it seems that most of you were not following, or whether there are new persons that are coming into the class. But nevertheless, the point is that the numbers or the parameters I've explained so far, Ada and Yoma Realtor, I've mentioned them. I've talked about realtors. I've talked about in-house. And you remember, I'm working with a company this time. I'm going to be ending with the company, then move to realtors. And I also mentioned that if you are not in the real estate business, let me know the kind of business you are into. I will also give you parameters you can use to grow your business. All right. Okay. So I've mentioned realtors. I've mentioned in-house team. I've mentioned prices. Right. And the next thing is for realtors, for companies, I will increase the number of estates that I have. Okay? The number of estates that I have, that is what I need to increase. Okay? With that, increase the number of estates, multiply by 2, then I will be able to multiply any result that I achieved last year. If I can, now this is it. You don't have to start all of them at the same time. You can just, okay, this quarter, I want to focus on one or two. My campaign for this quarter, or like some of the realtors I work with currently for this quarter, the target we set is all the number we generated for some of them. For example, we generated, let's say, the total number of leads we generated last year for some of them. Okay, the total number of uh, leads we generated last year, right, was, for some of them is just 300. For some of them is 1,000 leads. For some of them is more than that. For some of them is 500 leads. Now, our target for them this quarter, for this year, this quarter, is that whatever number of leads you generated for the whole of last year, we are going to generate that same number of lead for just this quarter, the first quarter of this year. So if you generated 1,000 leads for the entire year of 2025, this quarter, the first 3 months of this year, we are generating that 1,000 lead for this quarter alone. Okay, now let me wrap up the company section, then I'll move to the next point. Now, I just mentioned these points, and it's looking like it's simple now. It's not really simple. Let me tell you the truth. I will not lie to you. It's not really that simple. Don't carry everything once, else you'll be stretched. Now, if you are to increase the number, there are financial implications on all of this. Okay? Remember, I say you need to choose. When I was talking about the one, you need to decide for the in-house team. I told you, you need to decide the option that is easier, faster, and cheaper. That is what you are looking at. Better, faster, easier, and cheaper. So an option might be good, but might be so expensive that it will be costing you more revenue, or almost 1/4 of your revenue. So that option might not be okay. Okay, so back to the point. So for me to increase my total number of realtors from, let's say, let me use a large figure. Let's say you have 500 realtors before, and you now want to increase it by two times. That is, multiply it into two, which means to be 1,000. One person alone might not be able to manage 1,000 realtors. So you might need an extra hand in your team to join in managing the realtors group. That is one. If you are using paper and pen forms to manage the 300, 100, or 500 realtors before, 1,000 realtors will require you building a realtors portal. All these are expenses. Okay, so that is why I was talking about capacity. You might know what you need to do, but you have the financial capacity or the human capacity to be able to implement it. Strategy is one thing. Capacity to implement is another thing. And that is where it is easier to sometimes develop a strategy. But the best strategy works with the capacity that is of the company. And there are some results some of you set for yourself. Why you are not, it is not that result is not possible, or that target is not possible. What is lacking is you lack the capacity to execute it. For example, some of the realtors that I mentor this year, when we started our meetings, I was asking some of them, okay, how much do you have for marketing this year? I already make it clear. The target is that every sales you generate, every lead you generated for the entire year last year, in the first 90 days of this year, let's get those same number of leads, right? Let's get those same number of leads. That is the target we set for ourselves. And now some persons don't have the money to be able to generate that number of lead within this first quarter. So would you say the strategy did not work? The strategy should have worked, because my team would have been responsible for generating the lead for them. What failed is that they don't have the money. Okay? So that is the thing. So that is an example. So you might get a portal. How much to build the list portal? Depending, for my own organization, my software organization, when we develop a realtors portal, the least we charge is ₦1 million, depending on the features of the portal. But the least we charge is ₦1 million. So that means you have ₦1 million to spend on realtors portal to be able to manage them well. Then you also need to come up with different recruitment exercise to get them among the realtors to recruit other realtors. So for them to recruit other realtors to be sure that this person is under me, in order to avoid complication of you gave my indirect commission to another person, what you need to do then is that is where portal is needed. And for you to even manage the portal, in some occasion, you even need an IT person. Maybe your previous admin person might not be too conversant with technology, but because now you want to use portal, you need not just an admin person. That you don't need an ordinary admin. If you still want to use that same admin to manage the router, you might not need an admin that has some basic IT knowledge. And for you to get an admin that needs basic IT knowledge, that person will not collect the same salary that the previous person was collecting. That means your input would also need to increase. This is where another issue most companies have. You set a big and fat target, but you don't have big and fat budgets to meet that target. So these are the area of capacity. For the staff members, maybe you need to train them. How much do you need to get to train in-house team members? For my organization, the Techboss Business Growth Enterprise, if it's a physical training, which may we being on ground to do the training, is a different cost. We training them virtually is a different cost. So these are the things you need to put into consideration. So that is another example of capacity building. Then even the realtors you have, you still need to train them. You need to engage them. So if you used to maybe once in a while, you will maybe do realtors hangouts, and before now you have 200 realtors, and now you're targeting 1,000 realtors. The money you used to spend to do hangout for 200 realtors cannot be the same amount of money you're going to spend to do hangout for 1,000 realtors. So these are some of the things that you need to be able to multiply, or what we call the 16x exponential growth framework. Look for four things in your business, that can be multiplied, that can be duplicated, and you will get any result of your choice. Thank you for this section. That is for this part of the business owners or managers in real estate company. Questions? Before we move to realtors, I actually said I'm going to be using Madam Loveland so let me scroll back to some of her demands or her target. Loveland, are you still here? So let me scroll back. While you ask your questions, I'm scrolling back. Okay, so 3 areas to improve on my business this year. Number 1, expand my team by 50%. Number 2, increase my revenue by 500%. Number 3, increase my marketing channels and budgets by what percent? Remember, goals are supposed to be specific, time bound, and are measurable, and so on. That is SMART goals, right? So now I will start from the bottom up. First, budget. That's the last thing you mentioned, budget. So I'll write it out so I can. Okay, I'm still waiting for questions from the last part we've just covered. Budget. So I just want to write this out. Marketing channels. What is revenue? Team. Okay. These are the 4 points you mentioned, even though she put it into three. But these are 4 points you mentioned. So while we are doing that, any question? While I'm waiting, any question? Or should I just proceed? Any question? This is not your usual Zoom where you ask questions verbally. So please, if you have any question, type it now. Because if I move forward, I won't be coming back. No question? All right, let's proceed then. But let's be sure. Are you following? If you are following, give me a thumb up. If you are following, give me a thumbs up. If you are following, give me a thumbs up. If you are following, give me a thumbs up. Are you following? Let me know those that are following. Are you following? Are you following? Are you following? Are you following? All right, we have official Madam Shoreland. I am following, sir. All right. Others, are you following? I need response. I need engagement. I need response. And by the way, let me ask a question. Uh, I believe most of you have been joining, though we have a very small number. Maybe between the Zoom section we've been having for years now, and this YouTube option, which is better? Which do you prefer? Between the Zoom and the YouTube, which do you prefer? Okay. So let me attend to Madam Lovely's this thing because of time. So I moved to budget. I was talking about budget. Okay. Okay. I've seen two persons say they prefer the YouTube. Okay, that's good. So every Sunday, make sure. Okay, I've also seen one person say Zoom is better. All right. So budget. Somebody talked about budget. I prefer Zoom. Oh, we have two persons saying they prefer Zoom. But at least with this, you can always come back to rewatch. That is another beautiful part of the YouTube. Yeah, you can always come back to rewatch the video. Unlike the other one, my team hardly posts the video. Immediately we stop because of the size. Most of the time, we easily delete it from the uh, channel. So, but for YouTube, it will always be here for you. So that is one of the reason, and it's also free. And we also want to expand the class to as many persons as possible. So most of the WhatsApp group will just Zoom classes will just be for the paid members. Okay. Okay. While we're waiting for that, while I'm waiting to continue, let me make one announcement. I made a point that um, my current team, we are targeting on generating leads more than or the total leads we generated last year in the 365 days, we are generating those leads within 90 days. Okay. So a few of them have called on friends who have also joined that exercise. So let me make it throw it as a question or as an option for you. Who wants to join that exercise of generating 1,500 to 1,000 leads. 500 to 1,000 leads. Who wants to join that exercise? Remember, it is not free. Let me make it very clear now. It is not free. And what I mean, it is not free. You are going to generate leads, so you spend money on ads. Okay? We meet once every week. For those of you who are within the cities where I'll be visiting, days I'm not in your city, you join us virtually. So we are doing it both virtual. People are joining it physical, people are joining us virtually, right? So for like next week or this week we are entering, I'll be in Port Harcourt. So I will meet with those people once. Within this same next week, I would be with before weekend. I will be in what do you call Asaba again. So we also meet once. So with every week we'll be meeting once for a period of 2 months. Okay, every week we are meeting once. Okay, and within this period we meet. I will tell you what to do before then. Get video, get this type of video. We send your video for analysis. We evaluate your video. Your videos are fine. Okay, we'll check your social media handles that you want to use to be sure that they are fine. Then we will now meet, we'll start the ad. It will be more or less me running. For those of you who are meeting physically, my team and I will be the one be setting up the ad for you on your handle directly. You pay the money into your ad account. We set up the ad for you. The ad starts running. Okay, why your own is just to be receiving the leads and be following up. We also set up some automation for you so that immediately there's somebody sign up to show interest in your products. This your system can easily send them an email. Your system can easily send them a WhatsApp message before you now also do your own personal follow-up. That is the point that I'm making, right? So that money you are going to spend on ad is you that is providing it. It's not, so that's why I say number one, it's not free. You spend money, which means you'll be ready to spend money. If you are not ready to spend money to run the ad, please don't bother talking of joining. But if you are ready to spend money to join to run your ad by yourself, or we set up the ad for you, you can indicate in the WhatsApp group. For those of you who are in the WhatsApp group, or I will drop a number before the end of the class, so you can shout up that number and show your interest there. They will give you more details about it. Okay, so that's for that aspect. Now back to the point: budget. So Madam Loveland says she has a budget, and what is this? She wants to increase her budget. I mean, so the first thing before increasing budgets, the first thing you need to ask yourself is: the current budget you are using, is it giving you results? Are you utilizing it well? What do I mean by that? For me, if I use, for example, 100,000 naira, which I don't hardly use, but if I use 100,000 naira to set up an ad, the question is, how much will I get as leads? If I use 100,000 naira to set up an ad, how many leads, sorry, will I get? Some of you might just get maybe 10, 20 leads, right? For me, due to my expertise, I will get above that. And also, that number of leads you are getting, how many sales are you able to generate from it? Okay, because I've seen companies that are spending. I met somebody, was that Prakot? Yeah, who said their company has a 500 million naira ad spent every month, but still they are struggling for sales. Sometimes the leads doesn't even come. And even when the leads come, it's a bookie that they are seeing more. So if you are already spending a certain amount and you are not satisfied with the result, the first thing to do is to analyze the budget. What is the average cost per lead? That is the thing you need to ask yourself first. And the quality of leads that I'm getting, am I getting the value from it? If I spend 500,000 naira on ad. How much am I getting in return? You need to analyze your current result and budget before talking about increasing your budget. So increasing of budget is not the first thing. If you are already wasting money and you increase the budget, you will keep wasting the money until you get to a minimum threshold. You know that every time I spend 500,000, I am certain of making a commission of at least 5 million naira. I'm not talking about sales. I'm talking about commission. I'm talking to realtors now because Madam Loveling is a realtor. Okay? So I am not talking about sales. So for me to earn 5 million naira in commission, that means I must have made a sale almost 50 million naira, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Let's say 10% of 50 million naira. Is that not is that not 5 million naira? So that's I must come to that point, okay? Now, since every time I spend 5 million naira, 500,000 naira on ad, and I'm getting 5 million naira as commission, then I can say, okay, is this good for me? So, what that means is that if I increase my, or maybe double my budget by spending 1 million naira on ads, then I can get 10 million naira or even 15 million naira as commission, because it is not it in marketing result does not add, marketing result compound. It's not like because you were spending 500 million naira and you were getting 5 million naira commission, that now that you have doubled it, you will now also get double result. No, it compounds. So there's no way you are consistently spending 500 million naira and you will get 500,000, 500k, and you are getting commission of 500 of 5 million naira, and now you now decide to increase your marketing budget or marketing spend to 1 million naira, and you will now get 10 million naira. No, it will not be 10 million naira. It will definitely be above 10 million naira. That was the point I'm making, because marketing results does not add, marketing results compounds. Okay, time will not permit me to explain all of those talk about marketing, but let's proceed. So, Madam Loveling, the first thing you need to do is analyze what is your current budget. That is the first thing I want you to take note of. What is your current budget? What is your current result? First and first. Then you talk about marketing channels. This is an era of omni-channel marketing, right? This is the era of omni-channel marketing. But I, as a person, I'm not a fan of it, because I have seen that most people does not have the capacity for omni-channel marketing. Even to post on only Facebook, you are still crawling. To post on Instagram, you are still crawling. To create content for only Instagram, you are still struggling. How much more creating content that will be suitable for different platforms? So my advice, professional advice, is this: not a standard, but professional advice. It's not like that is the marketing standard. No, this is my personal marketing or professional advice for you. If you must expand your channels, don't expand it above 3 channels. Don't go above 3. And why so? And each of the channels should have a reason why you are using them. Each channel has a reason. YouTube is for authority establishment. That is what YouTube is for. YouTube content gives you positioning and authority. That is what YouTube gives you. And when I mean YouTube, I'm not talking about the modern reel or YouTube shorts. I'm referring to the standard YouTube video, which is landscape. You can appear on YouTube Live once in 2 weeks. Okay? And also, another beauty of YouTube again is the fact that YouTube content are the only content that is evergreen. You can create a content on YouTube today. Let me draw a graph for you guys. Other social media platform, right? I'll draw it and I'll show you on the screen. It goes this way. Other social media platform. So when you create the content, it rises and is built to drop after a while by default. It's built to drop. But YouTube, depending on the quality, this is how it goes. It would even struggle from the beginning. If you can see this, it will struggle from the beginning, then it keep going up. So you can create a YouTube content today and it will not give you any quality results. Don't be surprised 5 years later, you start getting call from that same YouTube video. That is how YouTube works. Is it clear? So, and it established authority. It is evergreen. Number 2, again, another platform I would advise you to go into if you can write, and not write socially, write professionally. Social writing, all these your shorts, all those your jargon kind of write-up you do on Instagram. No, that is social writing. I'm talking about professional writing, where you give insights, quality insight backed by research, backed by data. Okay? If you are open for such, then LinkedIn is your platform. Okay? If you're open for that, LinkedIn is your platform. So then Instagram can now come in. So the order I'm giving you, and this also is not a marketing standard, but a professional advice. YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram. These are my preference for you as a realtor. Okay? Then lastly, Facebook. Okay. So with this, I have explained budgets. I have explained marketing channels. Then revenue. What did you say you want to do with revenue even? You want to increase it, or what did you say you wanted to do? Increase my revenue by 500%. Okay? By 500%. So let me ask a question, Madam Loveland. For somebody who, this calculation we did earlier, where we say 16 times 800 million. What was the answer you guys gave? Now I'm talking to you directly, Madam Loveland, if you are still in the class. If you are still in the class, indicate. Or what was the answer you guys gave me? I think somebody mentioned 12 point something billion, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody mentioned 12 point, was it 12 point something billion you mentioned? 12.8 billion. I think that was what some of you calculated. I'm not sure. If it is 12.8 billion, hmm, how many percentage growth is that? That's the question I'm actually driving at. How many percentage growth is that? If you did 800 million in sales previous year, and this year you are able to do 800, 12 point something billion, how many percentage growth is that? That is my question to you. Then for team, while you are waiting, I'm expecting the answers, guys. While I'm waiting to receive your answer, I'll be explaining team. Now you talked about team. I won't call it team anymore. I'll call it tribe. Okay? What you should be looking at is building a tribe. And for a tribe must have a common goal, a common belief. A tribe must have a leader. A tribe must have an anchor. So a tribe must have soldiers. A tribe must have commanders. What I'm trying to say by this is that you cannot build the team alone. Okay? You can't build the team. What is this? Alone. You can't build the team alone. That is what I'm trying to say to you directly, Madam Loveling. You can't build a team alone. So, what do you need to do? As you are building, it gets to a point you start empowering people within the team to become leaders, to begin to build teams also within the team. So the exploits, so the team is not just about Loveling anymore. There was that your brand name again. The team is not for Madam Loveling. The team is the tribe has a theme. And when I mean theme this time, I mean THEME. Okay? The tribe has a theme, and that theme could be that we want to help women to be financially secured. That could be the theme. A tribe that is focused on empowering women, a tribe that is focused on helping young people, a tribe that is focused on helping students, a tribe that is focused on, so it is a tribe that has a vision and a mission, it has a target, it is a movement. Okay, that is what you need to set out to build. Now I'm talking to you like this because I know you in person. Okay. So that at this stage of your career in the industry, what you need is a movement. Okay. And maybe you can shout me up later. I will we'll talk about, I'm talking about Madam Lovely now. We'll talk about um what it takes for an idea to spread. Okay. So it is an idea, it's an ideology, it's a movement, it's a tribe. Okay? That is what you need right now. Okay, so with that, I'll give room for questions and I'll give room for comments. We are wrapping up. Like I said before, usual classes won't be taking as long as we use the previous classes we used to have on the previous classes we used to have on Zoom. So questions, are they still there? The class has been fluctuating. At some point we have 15, 20, some point we have 10, 12. So are they still there? Can they hear me? I'm wrapping up. So if you can hear me, You guys are the ones I'm waiting for. I say comments and questions. Since you guys were not responding, that's why I asked if you could hear me. I'm wrapping up. If you can hear me and you don't have any question, Madam Loveling, are you there? If you can hear me, respond. I use Madam Lo so that it doesn't look like I am being partial. I use her because as a case study because she was the first to join the class. So that was her benefit for joining early. That was why I told her I was going to use her as a case study. Okay, I am guessing there is no question. So in the absence of question, should we call it a day? So this is 1 hour, 30 minutes or 32 minutes. We've been in the section. I want to thank every one of you who created time to join the section. Uh, you can always share the link with your friends. You can, whenever, who is this? Ada Anyoma Realtor. Every time I teach and I ask for questions, the questions should just be about what I taught. So you don't expect me to start answering how you can target the right audience for your Facebook ad on a class that is taught on what do you call it again? On I believe on this channel you should see some videos of our previous classes on this YouTube channel. So everybody, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. The video will be made available for you to come back to rewatch. So you can rewatch it for those of you who joined late, rewatch it and understand what we have covered today. And there are a series of videos from conferences and trainings and seminars on the YouTube handle. So share with your friends and see you next Sunday. Okay? Stay well and God bless you. Thank you. Sharing. Okay, I promise to, let me just add this. I promise to uh, give you a phone number. You can shout up for, the lead generation challenge. It is not mandatory for only those that wants to join the lead generation challenge. If you want to be part of the lead generation challenge, shout out the number that I'm going to be dropping on the charts, and I'll leave the charts on for so shout out that number. Only shout, please, and either myself will attend to you, any of my team member will attend to you. Thank you, and God bless you.